Hey, everybody, welcome back to another Chat with a Muskrat. Hope everybody's doing okay. I got to be honest, I've been watching some reports and some other YouTube channels showing the crazy weather going on down south. Florida snowstorms, Georgia, Alabama, Louisiana. Well, it's crazy. It is frigid cold here. I think wind chill this morning was -7, and I think our low tonight is -7 without the wind chill. So it is cold, cold, cold. And that's kind of what brought me to today's topic, was about doing some wintertime fishing. And so tonight we're going to cover a little bit of everything. We're going to start out talking about safety. Obviously, fishing's fun, but we don't want to lose a family member or lose limbs and fingers and toes and everything out trying to catch a fish. We love to chase the fish, but our safety is first. So we're going to start out talking about safety for a little bit. We're going to move on and talk about bait, where to get bait, what kind of bait's best this time of year. And then lastly, we're going to talk about fish. Like, where are we going to find fish this time of year? Where are we most likely to find fish this time of year? Because we all know if you read the books and you follow everything that's been said over the years, the fish don't know all the rules, right? So everything we've been taught, there's days when you go out and everything on the list that says you shouldn't catch a fish today is checked, and you have a stellar day. And so not always the fish get the memo. So we'll get things kicked off and started here in just a second. But before I do that, I'm going to circle back around and say hello to some folks in chat. I seen V here, and hit cancel. V here says her best advice for wintertime catfishing is stay inside. You could just stay inside and the comfort of your own home and watch videos, man. I've been watching videos. What are you doing? We're watching videos, and Jackie's back here trying to set up my other live here real quick. She's trying to get us on TikTok live, and I'm letting her handle all that. I don't know anything about that stuff. But first we had Tommy Long in here at 12:30 today. I mean, he was excited. And, you guys know Tommy. He is an animal when it comes to fishing. He is a master angler of multiple species. He's been sending me pictures and videos of ice fishing the last 2 weeks, catching bass, crappie, catfish. I mean, bluegill. Man, he's been out there just getting it done. So I actually need to get Tommy Long. If you're watching, Tommy, if not, I'm going to reach out to you. We need to get you on the show within the next couple of weeks and talk a little bit about, one, your passion, and two, just how you're so consistent, because he catches a lot of fish, lots of fish. Burrito Catfishing Ladies in the house. Jeff Beals here. Jersey's in the house. What's going on? Let's see. I got my other phone dinging, doing crazy stuff over here. Hey, Epic Catfish, man. Long time no see, Tim. Welcome in. Been a while since I've seen you, brother. Miss you. That's another guy we got to get on the show here soon. We talk about all things scientific and get down to the nitty gritty. We can have an all-nighter with that Tim Scott. Hey, Daddy's in the house. Smoky Mountain Catfishing. What's going on, buddy? Crappie Dad Darren's here as well. I'm going to try to speed up a little bit, get through you guys. I don't want to miss anybody. Randy, old gray hair Swain's in the house. What's up, brother? Let's see. Calvin Kayak Catfishing. What's up, Calvin? If I've not seen you before, welcome in. If I've seen you, welcome back. Mike Greenwell's in the house as well. What's up, buddy? Chris Smith is here. Uncle Lou's in the house. Thank you, brother, for stopping in. Appreciate you. Let's see. Bugman 22. I hear real temp burr. I hate winter. Yeah, buddy. Let's see. Kevin Walters is in the house. Monster Cat Catfishing. He's a friend and a brother, and does good things for his community and as for his teammates. So, River Rat 3030. What's up, Ernest? Appreciate you being here. Paul Edmiston. Paul, is Rocky Fork open at all? I need to get some bait. I was thinking South Shore or East Shore might be open, but I hate to drive an hour and 40 minutes out there just to take a look. If you know, holla. Let's see. Let's get back on track here real quick. Let's see. Everybody's saying hi. Appreciate it. FOA Customs and Gears in the house. Hey, Roger in chat. Busy making a few huge towel orders for CatCon, so no chatting here. Hey, buddy. We understand he's like the hardest working man in the catfish biz right now, man. And on my radar, I'm sure there might be other guys out there. What's up, Terry? Welcome in. Appreciate you stopping in. Bobcat's in the house. War Pig is here. What's up, brother? I'm way behind, man. Greg Burgess is here as well. Let's see. Fat Boy Eric, what's going on, buddy? Thanks for stopping in. Appreciate you. And let's see. We'll try to get down through here and try to keep this show started. Let's see. Jason Lamb's in the house. Jerry Parker Pursuits. What's up, buddy? Thanks for stopping in, man. Eddie River Junkies is in the house. What's going on, man? We've got 40 people hanging out here already. Appreciate you guys stopping in. I know there's a couple other lives, and of course, the weather's got a lot of people tied up right now. But appreciate you guys taking the time to cruise on over here and stop in for a little bit. Newbie's in the house. What's up, Newbie? Or Nubby? I can't remember. I get everything so mixed up. I'm trying to get down there. John, Small Water Charters. Thanks for stopping in, brother. Appreciate you. Hopefully, I know he was talking about me coming down to Florida there a couple of weeks ago and bringing the cold down, but I've been long gone, so you can't blame this on me, bud. This ain't my fault. Angling with Andy. What's going on, Jello? What's up, buddy? Appreciate you being here. All right. I might. Dale Hayslips in the house. I thought I was getting close to the bottom. Creole catfishing. Come on, man. He says, come on, come get your weather. It's drunk and needs a ride home, buddy. I know. I'm watching the news reports come in, and I'm like, good Lord. It's craziness. Craziness what's going on. What's up, Catfish? Welcome in. So boom. All right. I think if I missed anybody, sorry. I apologize. I try to get down through this quickly because I got a lot of information to cover tonight, and I want to make sure I get through it all. We know about an hour people start, dipping out. Some people stick around. So I want to try to get as much stuff covered as I can. If we go over an hour, hey, that's all right. No problem. We just got the word that the school's closed for tomorrow. They can't get the schools warm enough. Some of these buildings are old, and they just can't keep up with the heat. So I believe every school in the county is closed for tomorrow. Crazy. So Jackie's here. She does have to work in the morning, but she can handle the kids for me tonight. Benoit Fishing, what's going on? Seen you guys on the ice the other day on stand day. That was awesome to see. I seen you just put out a video yesterday. I haven't got to check it out yet, but ice fishing, that's some crazy stuff. You gotta be dedicated to get out there and do that. And you guys are definitely dedicated out there consistently fishing all year long. I love it. There's Pat, Twisted Cat Tackle Fishing. What's going on, buddy? Seen somebody else. Stan 3. I didn't make sure I didn't want to miss Stan 3. What's up, Stan? Bullock's in the house. Thank you, Kelly, for stopping in. All right, so first of all, we're going to start off with a little bit of safety, all right? I know it's not the most popular thing to talk about, but let's face it, if we ignore it and we go on without it, I find ourselves in trouble. And I can't consciously go on with tonight's show without stopping for a minute. And I'm not going to use this to bring down the show. I was just trying to use this for knowledge and for sharing with you guys. Guys, this is our friend Shane Henderson, who passed away a year or so ago, out fishing, doing what he loved. As a matter of fact, those of you that have been around for a long time know that there was a tournament coming up on Hoover Reservoir here in Ohio. And Shane was actually on the show the week before promoting the tournament, talking about the specifics of it. And unfortunately, Shane was out that day fishing with a partner, and their boat took on water, rough water up there. The waves overtook the boat. The boat went down quickly. He did not have a life jacket on, no life preserver at all. And we lost Shane in the frigid cold waters. And his partner did have a life vest on and made it to shore. And he's still with us today. And, we miss him. He was a big man in the community. He gave you the shirt off his back, and just a stellar guy. They still have memorial events that go on Hoover in his honor, but he was a big pillar in the community for catfishing and just, pushing for regulations and things like that. And so when I start talking about safety and I start talking about the importance of safety and just how quickly things can turn, I see his face. And most of you probably don't know him, but maybe that picture will scar in your mind and say, man, in an instant, your boat could go down. Are you ready to go in the water? Right? Are you ready to go in? And if the answer is no, you got to start thinking about what you should be doing different. I ain't perfect. I got to tell you right now, my life jacket ain't on as nearly as much as it should be, but it is on more than it used to be. And I'm trying to improve on it all the time. So I know I'm going to be questions like, how come you ain't got yours on 100% of the time? I don't have it on 100% of the time. But most of you that watch me know that me and Zach, especially when we're at the dams or anywhere that's, rowdy in any way, shape, or form, we do have our life jackets on. And even when Zach's fishing alone, you guys have heard me yelling at him through the camera, through the live streams. Hey, buddy, get your life jacket on. You know better. And that's what you do. You take care of each other. So first of all, we're going to talk about, you got life jackets, right? This time of year, especially as cold as it is right now, and obviously most of us aren't going to be out as cold as it is today in the next few days, but the inflatable life vests, they're not real reliable in this type of weather, okay? What is reliable is the old school foam, life jackets that you put on, zip up, buckle on, whatever it is. And come to think of it, it serves as two purposes, okay? So that life jacket is going to float no matter what. Your confidence is there. That thing is going to float, all right? You got to make sure you get the size regulated to carry it, because I got to get a big one to carry my big butt. But that's going to float. And also, that foam insulation is going to help keep you a little bit warmer, all right? Because if you think about what naturally insulates a lot of things in our world, styrofoam is one of the natural insulators, all right? And that foam inside that vest is going to help keep you protected and help keep you just a little bit warmer, all right? 2 duck hunters had to be rescued yesterday from a nearby lake, not out there hunted, and the outboard wouldn't start when they wanted to leave. Not good, and the freezing temps. Ooh, boy. Yeah. We lost someone here in my river. It's only 6 feet deep, but the current held them under. They had no vest on, man. Hey, Sampy, welcome in, brother. Appreciate you. Yeah, so the type of life jacket that you choose this time of year, even if you got one of the old orange ones that go around your neck, they are not the most fashionable, right? But guess what? If it comes down to it, if your life is, what is your life worth to you? Got it. So I do have the styrofoam ones. Now, if I had the money, if I was able to, I would invest in a ice fishing float suit. Okay. Those things can get real expensive real quick. I know that we've talked about them in the past, but like PC Fun has some out there. Striker, obviously, Windrider. Actually, Windrider has basically the suit I'm looking for is something that would be multi-purpose, 3-season, I guess, suit is what you'd call it. So something I could use all year long, take the flotation out when I don't need it. But my guide wear, I've had it like 5 years. This on the James, the side zipper busted out of it, and we're having a hard time figuring out if we can get that thing fixed or not. So my rain gear is long gone. Yeah, Catfish says Windrider. Yeah. I was wanting to get the Hayward suit, and I waited too long. Okay, I didn't wait too long. I didn't have the money, right? I kept waiting, hoping that it would I could come up with the money to get it while it was on sale. Unfortunately, all sizes are out of stock. So it's down to like a small and a 6X. There's like nothing in between. So it's but if you can't afford those, regular old life jacket, man, they'll do the deal. All right, so life jackets. Next, we'll talk about dressing for the occasion, okay? The cold, it's going to slow you down. You start doing things differently. Your fingers don't work like you should. And to be honest with you, once you get so cold, your mind starts getting pretty lethargic as well. You no longer want to do the things you can do. You no longer are able to do the things you want to do. And you really got to be careful. I was thinking back to, I think a year or two ago, Jeremy was on here. Even though you're not wet out there in the cold, you could get hypothermic sitting still. You notice yourself start shivering and teeth chattering. You just can't control it. You could be in the early onset of hypothermia and not even realize it. All right. I bought a neoprene waders that's supposed to be cold water waders. Neoprene, keeping the water off your body, off your skin is a huge step. That is a for sure. Myself, I want to antifreeze helps with the cold. I don't know about that. You got antifreeze running through his veins. There you go. Hypothermia sets in real quick. Yeah, Jeremy's chiming in there. The ones on sale for PC Fun's site no longer say they are float suits, just insulated bibs and coats. I did look today or yesterday, actually, because I wanted to kind of keep an eye on prices of things. I did see some I thought were ice float suits there, but I can't swear to it. I also don't know firsthand that they are high quality. I know that Wind Rider has a huge reputation, and Stryker obviously has as a long-time brand that has a great reputation. So antifreeze and boating don't mix. There you go. So dressing for the occasion, whether that's an electric vest, electric gloves, battery operated socks, just the regular hot hand warmers. You get a few of those in your gloves. Me and Zach, we tape them to our foot. Okay, so we put a hot hands on top of our toes, across the top. We take a piece of packing tape and run it around our foot loosely. Obviously, you don't want to cut your blood supply off. Loosely lay it on there, and then put our foot in the boot, and that warmer lays on top of your foot, and that's where your skin's the thinnest, and it will warm the blood coming to and from your toes. So kind of like what we've talked about before about in my glove, I don't put my hand warmer inside my palm. That's a lot of meat to heat up. I put it on the backside here where all my veins are, and I put the heat pad here in my glove to help warm up the blood that's going to my fingers, keep me warmer. Okay. If I'm really sissified, I'll put one on the back and on the inside, but I always try to put one on that backside first. I need them things in my boxers. They're everywhere. There we go. There you go. So dress for the occasion. All right. Here's the other thing. I just fish warm weather these days. Hey, Epic. It's bound to happen sooner or later, right? Some of us, I don't get on ice. I haven't yet. I won't say I won't. I haven't yet. Tommy Long's got me convinced that I need to go ice fishing with him. And if I'm going to go, I'm going to go with Tommy Long because that boy's consistent. Got to fuel the furnace. Make sure you got food with you. Body burns a lot of calories to keep you warm. Hey, that's great. I think we might have talked about that last year or the year before. I always try to do this once a year just to kind of, keep it on the top of your mind. All right. Bottles in the buddy heater froze up now. Oh boy. But yeah, eating well before you go. Careful what you eat. You don't want to have to drop all your trowel out there in negative temperatures and do the deed. But he's right. Your body will burn a lot of calories shivering. And so you do want to keep your body replenished with the electrolytes and calories and probably carbohydrates to help keep your body warm. All right. Because it's going to burn a lot of calories while you're out there. Olin, welcome in, buddy. Appreciate you stopping in. At the same time, keeping yourself a warm meal, man. I'll tell you what, we got and you guys all know, right? We keep a grill on the boat. We make a hot meal. Man, you eat something warm on a cold day. It's like you just automatically reset the day, hit the reset button for your day, and you're ready to go all over again. Something warm in your belly will just, it feels good, and it's just a big boost of adrenaline. It's good for your mind. It clears your mind up, and you'd be surprised what it could do for you, just having something warm to eat. There we go. It was 2 degrees here yesterday. We had a great day on the water. Good multi-species day. There you go, Jerry. There's no stranger to get putting in the work. It doesn't matter what the conditions are. Jerry's going to find a way to get out there and go fishing. And normally he puts the fish on the bank or in the boat. Jason Lamb, welcome in. Said, Jerry, it took me years of bow hunting to figure out how that sock thing. I got you. Not it fishing. It wasn't for an enclosure and diesel heater. We would be stuck at home all winter. That is very high on my list of things I would love to have for the boat. Behind a lot of other things, but an enclosure and a diesel heater is something that would definitely save the day. Would put us out there. Hot oatmeal. Bring a couple packets and a thermos of hot water. There you go, Jersey. That's a fantastic idea. That water in those thermoses stay hot for a long time. Mix you up a bowl of hot oatmeal. Nothing better. I love hot oatmeal. There you go. Also, talk about personal safety here for a minute, but let's talk a little bit about actual physical safety. All right. This time of year, there aren't a whole lot of boats putting in and out of the water, except, there we go. OH, there we go. Ohio State champions, national champions now. There you go. I knew I'd see it somewhere with us. A lot of Ohio represented in these chats. Gotta love it, man. Gotta love it. We don't have the best fishing in the country, but I think we got the biggest heart in the country when it comes to going after fish and being, I guess, stubborn or crazy might be a better fit. But we love our fish. But duck hunters will be going in and out of the water this time of year. And if you're not the first one there, what'll happen, these guys will pull their boats out of the water and they'll wet the ramp. Okay. And, depending on your temperature, that ramp will freeze instantly. All right. PP yourself occasionally, keep you warm. That's some Dumb and Dumber stuff right there, ain't it? Just let it go. They will put a thin sheet of ice on that ramp that will rock your world if you get pulled onto it. Keep a bag or buckets. What I prefer to do is take a bag of salt and dump it in a 5-gallon bucket, put the lid on it, keep that thing. I use the carabiner clips. I clip it onto the clips on the inside of the bed of my truck. I have a tonneau cover, so it helps as well. But the cover would also, if you didn't, help keep that salt dry. But I keep it in the truck and a shovel. You'll be surprised. You get down to the ramp and there's some snow or ice on it, and you need to kind of scrape it off to get in the water. Now, most people might just turn around at that point, but we're not that type of people. We're pretty hard headed. That's exactly what I did at the ramp 2 weeks ago. You had to salt it to get in. Hey, Epic, man, thanks for stopping in. Appreciate you being here, brother. We'll catch up with you soon. We'll have to pull you on the show. You got some time for us. We'll hang out. Yeah. So also on the flip side of that coin, if you're the guy putting in, solved it for others. There you go. If you're the guy putting in and pulling out, man, when you pull out, just stop at the edge of the water. It's going to take you an extra 30, 45 seconds, but let all that water run out of your treader, off your bunks, back into the water before you take off. I don't mean wait till it's dry and you're not dropping any water, but we all know that when you take off and that just pouring out of your trailer holes and pouring off your bunks, just wait 45 seconds or so. Let most of that water run back off into the pool water that you're on, and then go. Man, save somebody behind you a whole bunch of trouble. Somebody might get out and slip, going back to their boat or whatever the case may be. But a lot can be said about you just taking a couple extra seconds. And that's another thing. Remember that in the wintertime, everything takes longer. It takes longer to launch your boat. It takes longer to get your boots on, get dressed. It takes longer for your motor to warm up and start peeing correctly. It takes longer to find bait. It takes longer to catch bait. It might take longer to, what about a frozen money ramp? River drop suck. Yeah, I got you, buddy. It might take you longer to find any fish. So give yourself extra time and expect that extra time when you plan to go out and go fishing. Because everything's going to take a little bit longer in the wintertime than it normally does. Your body you just move a little slower. Your bulky clothes on, you're going to move a little slower. You need to slow down and kind of think things through and keep yourself safe. Salt the ramp when you go out so it won't be iced when you come back in. That's a great idea, Stan. Depending on the traffic, that salt may help you. You got 5 or 6 guys go out, come back, launch after you. Your salt's probably going to be gone, but it is a great thing to do. You might have enough salt on it to where no matter how many guys go out, it's going to be good. Creole said they got about 4 inches of snow. Good Lord. It shut down the whole state of Louisiana. Actually, all Louisiana didn't get it though. I don't think all Louisiana got it, but you guys did get some snow, and that's crazy. 2 inches of snow shut down Louisiana. I'm telling you. And Florida, I seen a picture earlier, a couple sitting on the beach with an umbrella up and about 3 inches or 4 inches of snow, sit back saying just another day on the beach, and it's just covered in snow. It's pretty funny. Snow and gumbo. There you go. Kelly, all I'm saying is Parker is denying the truth. He brought it up. So my question is, how does he know unless he's done it? Oh, well, our ramps are under the ice. Well, Benoit, that's an entirely different problem. And that's where you guys bust out the shanties and the augers. Although I don't have an auger, but I did see a fantastic video by Josh, the Weekend Angler. Get a chainsaw, cut you a square out with a chainsaw, slide that ice out of the way. You don't need no auger. I don't know how effective that really is, but it looked good. I got sunburned from the snow glare. Jeff Beal. The governor declared a state of emergency. I would not doubt that, buddy. I would not doubt that. Some of the folks carrying on like smashed cats out in the snow. I can only imagine. I'd seen some reports and saw some pictures and videos of some huge accidents on the highways. Man, prayers for all those folks down there dealing with it. You know, even here, we get snow all the time, right? And these people still don't know how to drive in this stuff. It's not really whether you can drive in this stuff. It's everyone around you, how well they're able to navigate on this ice and snow. Danny Stone's in the house. What's up, Danny? How you doing, brother? If it's colder than 9 degrees, use an ice blend. If it's below 0, use straight calcium ice melt. There you go. More science for you, because I don't know the biology or when it comes to the chemical compounds of what's best for melting ice. But there you go. We're looking at negative 25 wind chill in the morning. I got you, buddy. It's cold. It's going to be cold here. See, it's unreal how bad drivers are. Yeah, I'm telling you. Yeah, Ohio is 8-inch hole, no bigger, and hand auger is super easy to use. No kidding. I didn't know about the 8-inch hole. What if you drill 4 8-inch holes next to each other? What is that considered? Let's say four accidents in front of my house, and it's flat, straight road and only 25 mile an hour. That says a lot. All right, moving on. We'll move on here a little bit. So letting your bunks drain, pulling your boat out, let your lower unit drain. We talk about it a lot, I think, but it's worth mentioning again. Make sure you drain, tilt your motor down, let that lower unit drain. And a lot of us, we'll start the motor for a split second just to blow that rest of that water out of the engine if you can. So, you know, get that water out of the lower unit, get it out of your engine. Things will freeze and bust. I've lost a lower unit to that myself, and I know several others that have, as well as the plugging up the intake holes on the back of your boat that bring in, like, for your live wells. Or any other inside plumbing. So whether you got a wash down pump or any of those things, anything you got drilled in the back of your boat that you're not using right now, plug it. All right, put a plug in it. Stop that thing from getting water in it. So what happens is water gets in there, lays in your live well pump, freezes and busts or cracks. And now next time you go out, water's just pouring in, and it's pouring into your boat, and you don't know why or how because your plug's in. Everything's good. Well, it happens a lot. It's the live well plumbing that has frozen bust because it had water laying in it. So, you know, I know that Kevin was in here for Monster Cat Catfishing. His boat went down with that exact problem. And I know several other guys who had that exact same problem in the wintertime. No touching holes. Well, poo. I got you. That have that same problem. So there you go. Kevin's still in here with us. True story. So, that is a very big deal. If this time of year, we're not, most of us aren't using our live wells. We're not trying to keep live bait right now, and we're not typically fishing tournaments that require us to keep our live wells. If you are, get that thing as emptied out as possible. Let it drain out the best that you can. And, you know, the bilge pump is different. You don't plug it up. The bilge pump is up high. You know, your pump sets down in the bottom. It's going to pump that water out when it gets in there. But it doesn't have a reservoir or a belly or, you know, or a bellow for water to stand. All right. It just sets open in the floor of your boat down in the bottom and pumps water out when it becomes too full. So don't stop that one. And pull emergency stop and then turn motor over to empty water pump at the ramp and billage. There you go. There you go. You can pull the emergency stop and turn the motor over. That's a good tip. We just let it fire real quick. I don't know how many times we've been out in the water and trimmed the motor all the way out for whatever reason, shallow water, the current's messing with us or whatever, and start the motor, and it's out of the water for a split second before you get it trimmed down. I don't think split seconds, especially if it's already been in the water, I'm really going to burn up any water pumps, but I'm not a mechanic, so I didn't tell you to do that. So, in the meantime, just try to get all that water out of there and Plug those holes. Plug those holes. Another thing, I've got a whole bunch of stuff written down here. So I try to get through the safety stuff in half the time. We're at 8:30. So I'm trying to get the safety stuff done so we can get on to the good stuff. Right. Life 360. If you're going out this time of year, whether you're water impeller, there you go. If you're going out by yourself, which I don't really recommend, but if you are, make sure somebody knows where you're at. And if you're not familiar with the app Life 360, it is a fantastic tool for the people that you want to know where you are. I'm not going to give it to all my buddies. And so everybody knows all my fishing spots or where I'm at. Like, man, you said you couldn't go today. No. But my family and some of my friends, my fishing buddies, they do have it. So that if in an emergency, they would be able to know where I was or where at least I last was and things like that. So if you don't have Life 360 or you have it and you never thought about, maybe I ought to give it to one of my fishing buddies. It'd be good to have, because your family and friends, unless they're fishing friends, they're not going to know in detail where you're at, right? You might say, yeah, I'm going down to the gut, or I'm going down to, to here or there. But they're not going to have a clue. Your fishing buddies, they see your pin on the map. They know exactly where you are. And 9 times out of 10, they know exactly how to get to you, what ramp, what dock, whatever. They're going to know how to get there. Okay. So Life 360 for your friends, for your fishing friends, I would keep it to a few, but Lisa tracks me with Life 360. There you go, Randy. Hey, it's a great tool to have, man. Jackie checks mine. I'll be like, hey, it's time to start dinner. She's on her way home, or, vice versa. It's a great tool to have. I checked on Zach the other day. I was like, man, I ain't heard from him. Where is he at? And I was looked on the Life 360. I saw where he was. I said, man, he's still trying to catch bait. And, it's a good tool to have. Bobcat Darrell is a stalker. Yeah. I don't know if I'd give it to Darrell. I would choose wisely. Okay. The wife always knows where I'm fishing. She's in the boat. There you go, John. I see exactly. And so if for some reason she wasn't in the boat, right, you could give her that jersey says Wife 360. That's good. I've never seen that. That's pretty good. But if you weren't in the boat, John, and she had Life 360 on, and she could pull you up and something bad happened, I can almost guarantee she would know exactly how to go about and where to get to you quickly, who to contact, who's in that area. As John says, we're sinking together. I got you, buddy. Danny, that's actually on my list, but now that you bring it up, bank anglers also got to be careful. So the ice picks that I saw, the Benoits, Gabby, and Allison use, they didn't use them, thank God, but they did have them around their neck in case they needed them. Those ice picks, I think, would be a great tool for bank anglers as well. This warm clothing stuff, even a float suit, might be a little overboard, but you go in the water, it don't take long. All right. And so what I would probably recommend for these guys on the bank is have dry clothes in your bag somewhere, in the vehicle somewhere. Make sure you have a warm, dry change of clothes. All right. A lot of companies, Ziploc and some other brands out there, make a vacuum sealable bag that you could put all these clothes in, vacuum seal it, and they take up virtually no room. And because we all know that room is a problem, but slide that behind the seat. Even if you got a single cab truck, throw it behind your seat of your truck, under the seat, in your boat, wherever. Get yourself. There you go. If you're streaming on your phone, make sure your spouse has your fishing buddy's contact info. There you go. That's fantastic. But we do have 360 with the daughter. She knows where we are. Ice picks are 100% a must on the ice. They can and will save your life. You're absolutely right. Can I have your Life 360 so I can steal your bait spots? See, I knew that was coming. That's why I said you got to be choosy on who you give this Life 360 stuff to. But it could really come in handy. I'll be honest with you. It's on my list because I think it could help somebody sometime. Those of you that run heaters, whether you're on the bank or in the boat, man, make sure. I don't know if Jody's in here. I know she's caught herself on fire a couple of times, burned a couple of layers on her bibs and gear. There you go. I see another one there from Sunny Cat. Hey, what's up, Mr. Parker? Dry box with matches in it, things like that survival stuff that you don't normally think about this time, any other time of the year, but this time of the year, it could make a huge difference on whether you put yourself in a bad position, whether you pull out or not. I wouldn't give Kelly or Rand McNally nap. I wouldn't give Kelly a Rand McNally nap. So those of you, Bobcat's showing his age there. Nobody even probably knows what those are anymore, but those are the paper maps that we all used to use back in the day. That has been quickly replaced by Navionics and all the other topical platforms that we have now. I have a couple full service videos posted. Oil change to impeller may help someone. There you go. John Smallwater Charter says full service videos on oil change and impeller. Impellers really aren't that tough, man. The hardest part depends on what model of engine you have. I've run old boats, man. I'm poor. I got old stuff. I've got a 90s Johnson, and the hardest part for me is getting the shifter linkage back up through there underneath the carburetor and get that thing hooked up back there. It's a pain. A lot of them now just have a spline shaft. You just get it up in there and it's good to go. Jack plate all the way. See small water trucks because they forget, they trim it up. Stand there. You go. Jack plate all the way up. Unfortunately, I know what a Rand McNally map is. Still have one in my truck. Oh boy. Hey, Jimmy James Bailey, what's going on, man? Thanks for stopping in. Heater safety, I think we talked about that. Extra time, we talked about that. Here's another one. It gets real cold outside. Your fingers, you don't want to take your gloves off, right? Pre-tie rigs. I always pre-tied rigs because I like to pre-tie rigs. I like to tie rigs. I like to have pre-tied rigs. And when I'm out on the water, every minute counts. I have I bring a leader back in and it's all chewed up or scarred up. There's absolutely no reason for me to use it. I have more rigs to use. Take that rig off, put another rig on, get back to fishing. Remember that every cast could be the biggest fish of your life. All right. And if you're not 100% confident in the rig you just put out, you need to change it. Well, let's face it, when it's really cold outside and you got gloves on, you don't want to take them off to tie rigs. You're more likely to go ahead and throw that rig back out because you're like, I ain't taking my gloves off. Pre-tie your rigs, man. Save yourself a bunch of time. Keep your gloves on as long as you possibly can, and then go on from there. There's Jody. Somebody said Jody 3 times, and she appeared. Look at that. Jody was talking about heater safety on boats, and you can chime in or not. Either way, we was talking about steering clear of the heaters and not burning layers of your suits up. All right, bait. I went a little farther than I wanted to, but here we go. Talk about bait. The bait this time of year, right? What bait are we going to use? Where are we going to find it? How are we going to get it? All right. My opinion, and remember, this show's mostly just my opinion. A lot of stuff I regurgitate, I get from other sources and friends and family and buddies tell me, and we pass it on. Some of the stuff I've said in the past and worth repeating, and that's what we're doing tonight. And some of the stuff is just my opinion. None of it's set in stone. I don't claim to be the smartest angler out there. I'd have way bigger catches on my wall than what I do if I was as good at catching fish as I am about talking about it. So take that for what it's worth. By my opinion, shad is king in the winter. All right. And that's generally a safe bet. You know, a lot of anglers feel that way. There will be some folks that some other baits could be superior. But overall, bass are bait. Comment in 3, 2, 1. There you go. It's coming, John. In my opinion, shad's king in the wintertime. I don't know exactly why or how. It is a smaller bait, it is a smaller profile bait. And I do typically downsize my baits for the wintertime bite. How small? Man, I'm telling you, if Skip was still in here from Clearview Outdoors, he'd tell you his 3 biggest fish over 60 pounds have come on a piece of bait that was no bigger than that right there. Just a little. I don't even know if it was that big. It's probably this big. Don't ask me why I got this here, but just something small, crazy small chunk of bait, and that's what caught some of the biggest fish. Right? You always hear this saying that elephants eat peanuts, and it's true. Now, will I only run small baits? Nah. I like to mix it up a little bit. I will probably run 2/3 small baits, but I always try to throw a big one out there anyway, just in case they're after that easy big meal. Your best bait is whatever species is in tight schools near the bottom that particular time of year. Yeah, Jeremy, 100%. 100%. So yeah, if you're in the spring and crappie are about to spawn and they are just piles and right by the bank, that's a great bait. Bluegills on the beds, they're near the bottom, they're nesting, great bait. But I feel in this wintertime, shad is going to be my number one bait. And for most people that I talk to in the country, shad is their go-to bait as well when it comes to cold water. Now, where can you find the shad? Now that gets to be interesting, especially for us this time of year. Why I said the comment I said earlier about being able to find open water this time of year, because a lot of our lakes are froze or partially froze. I can't get a boat in to go chase down schools of shad, because my favorite way to get shad this time of year is use my electronics. Okay. Get out on the water, start scanning. And this time of year, them shad school up. There you go. Creole says same thing. Shad is our number one this time of year as well, all the way down in Louisiana. And they're still saying how that water gets cold, right? This is Mississippi. So all this cold water is going right down to him. So it's not as warm as you think. Some of these other bodies of water are, because his water does get cold. But even down there, shad is still top. I forgot what I was saying. But anyway, so getting the shad this time of year could be pretty difficult. A lot of our areas are not accessible through boat, and I like to scan and look for bait balls on my electronics. Okay. I don't have a live scope or anything on my boat. I typically just use my side scan, and I will start hunting down large bait balls. All right. I've even gone to the point of I'll drop a waypoint on a ball, a big bait ball of shad. I'll circle back around it. I do have a graph up front that's uses a transducer off my trolling motor. So once I start getting close to that waypoint that I dropped, I'll walk up to the front of the boat and I'll start watching the front scanner. And as soon as I start seeing that big ball of bait show up that I marked on my side scan, I'm going to let them rip. And, hopefully it's the one and done, because this time of year, you do not want to have your hands wet. You don't want to be, throwing that cast net more than you have to. I could tell you from experience, and most of you have too, once you throw the net a couple times, it starts freezing up, right? You got to dip it in the water to get the ice off of it and then throw it again. And you throw it and it snows on you because because we're crazy and we probably shouldn't be fishing in these temperatures, but we're going to. So we're going to talk about how to do it safely. Our shad have been on the northern end of our reservoir this year. That's kind of weird. I can't explain that. I don't know if there's some warm creeks up there or what it is that might be holding them more there, or if they are on the south end and you haven't been able to find them. My problem this time of year, reservoirs, they seem to go deep. Okay. I'm talking 20 feet deep. Depending on your body of water, obviously they could be 30, 40 feet deep. And so catching them with a cast net can get pretty tough. All right. I watch a lot of live scope videos. Okay. And mostly the gizzards, plenty of threadfin. I got you. Yeah, gizzard shad is all we really have around here. I do believe we have some threadfin, but they're very few and far between. Gizzard shad is like 99% of what we've got here. I tippy toe and still can't stretch it all the way. I missed something. I need a new net. Oh, I got you. Yeah, a cast net this time of year. I've watched a lot of videos. Okay. I've watched several videos where guys are live scoping, throwing a cast net on shad, and that net goes right down over the shad, and they pick them up and they pull them out, and the rest of the shad stay there. I always thought that once that net got down there so far, they're gone. Man, I've watched, and you guys can go back it up. Go check out. Go hit wintertime shad fishing or live scope cast net and shad or whatever you want to do. I watched several videos where them shad don't scatter like I thought they did. All right. I thought as soon as that net started coming down, they're gone. They're outrunning the net, and the net hits the bottom. You ain't caught nothing. That's not really the case. What really is more the case is that as your net is falling down through the water, it is closing and closing and closing. And at 20 feet, it's closing. And if you go clear to 30 feet, it's a small circle. I mean, it's not that small, but it's a small circle compared to what you threw it at. All right. Let's see. Pro tip: if you can't get fresh bait, to frozen bait holes, go to a local pond and get kittens just for bait. Just kidding. Jerry. Parker. I feel like the biggest problem is your net has closed so much that by the time it got down 20, 25, 30 feet deep, that you are not, effectively catching the bait. And I watched several videos where the guys could just just move up 10 feet and throw on that same giant school and watch the exact same results on the live scope. Now I know that Bobcat's in here, and I know that that Brandon uses the live scope on their boat. I don't know if he's seen the same type of results or not, but like I said, I watched a lot of videos because I tried to convince Jackie that we need a live scope. Jackie, we need a live scope. Actually, the new Humminbird Live 2 looks really, really good because the first Humminbird Mega Live, it's okay at best. Zach does have it, and we are trying to figure it out. But compared to what I've seen through Garmin, it's less than desirable. But there you go, Tug Drug Fishing. Welcome in. Yeah, I've seen you last week. Welcome back, man. Appreciate it. Caught my first gizzard shad. So cool, man. Awesome. So they can be deep in reservoirs. You still could look for them shallow. Like if you're in a reservoir that has a beach, beaches could be a great place to look for them. They will warm up. They will move up there. Creeks, if they have any flow whatsoever coming in or out, that's a good place to look. But on a sunny day, just like catfish, which we'll get into that in a second, just like catfish, a warm sunny day, bait will flock to a flat, whether it's in the river, it's on a reservoir or whatever, creek, stream. If they've got shad there, if it raises 1 degree, yes, love is live scope, Jackie. If it raises 1 degree, we dropping bombs, getting the Jeff Bill. If it changes 1 degree, they'll most likely move into the area. Okay, you can you can use your electronics. Shad Daddy, what's going on, buddy? You can use your electronics to confirm because that's all electronics do, right? They can't make you Roger Jackie needs live scope for Valentine's Day. Hey, Pontoon Jody, thanks. We don't need a live scope, Jackie. What? Yeah, we really don't or can't afford it right now. So we got the Humminbird last year, and that's going to be my only purchase for a while probably. I catch mine at a power plant outflow to a river. Yeah, fantastic. That, like I said, that's going to be probably warm water out of a power plant, and that's going to bring in some fish. Okay. Downside of baits, one of my favorite bait to cut, and you guys know this if you've been watching the show any amount of time, is the fillet. I love to fillet one side off of a shad, and then the other side I'll either cut the tail off and run it whole with the head and the spine exposed, or I'll cut, depending on how big the shad is, I'll cut the head off and use the spine and rib cage on the other side of that shad as a separate bait, or maybe cut it in two, depending on what it is. But I love a fillet this time of year. Water clarity will determine what water heats up more. Yep, absolutely, Stan. So, that light penetration will definitely play a factor depending on where you're at and what the surface is that's heating up. So obviously sand, mud, clay, rock, in that order will heat up. Okay. Clear water allows sun to warm and go up. Deeper water, sending fish deeper. There you go. Clear water allows sun to warm up deeper water, sending fish deeper. Yep. It also can be a great time to go shallow. When that water starts warming up, the fish will be shallow as well, or the bait will be shallow and your fish will go shallow. Now, how shallow is too shallow? No such thing. No such thing as too shallow. Take it from me. I'll take it from if you don't believe me, talk to Doc Lang. Doc Lang believes in this time of year, he's fishing 2, 3, 4 feet deep. on sunny days, warmer days. The water temperature could be in the 40s, but in them shallow flats, if a good warm sunny day pops out and it warms it up to 42 degrees, catfish will be in there. He's not here right now, but Tim Scott always told us that catfish go from need to want. All right. And so they need to feed. All right. They got to feed. So they got to be where the bait is. They got to consistently eat. Now, why are they eating such small baits in the wintertime? Because they don't have to eat as much. We know that in the cold winter months, their metabolism, their digestive system slows way down. All right. Kind of like a rotting carcass on the side of the road. Okay. You get a deer gets hit this time of year on the side of the road. It might be there for 2 months. It takes that long for it to decompose, and the cold temperature has it going. The process slowed way down. You take that same animal in the summertime, it's 90 degrees outside, and watch how quickly it dissolves and decays and is gone. Same things happen in the fish's guts. How quickly their body breaks down the food inside of them is easily related to the temperature. In the wintertime, they don't have to eat as much because their body's breaking down that food so much slower. All right. They're also a little lethargic. All right. They're going to move. They can move a little bit slower. The bites sometimes will get, very light and tappy at times. Not to say that they won't just smash the rod on occasion, because they will. But sounds like it. But they will start a real finicky bite. They're not in that major feeding frenzy. They can. And it's awesome when you do, but, small baits and, I read my notes and I automatically lost what I was coming out of my mouth. The birds are way better at fishing than we are. Listen to the birds. Yeah. Fantastic point, Stan 3. Yeah. If you see the birds diving on the water, or you see them back in a creek, you see them at the mouth of a creek, you see them up on the bank all over the place. There's a reason they're there. They spotted the fish. They're way better than us at catching them. They have to catch them to survive. We want to catch them because we want to catch fish. But if we had to catch them to survive, we'd probably be a lot better at it. Okay. Hey, Dead Sea Pirates, what's going on? Fishing hot water discharge yesterday. Thousands of tiny shad, blue cats were busting the surface like bass. A massive feeding frenzy. It was wild. Jerry, I've seen that type of stuff go on. There was actually a video by Riverblood. J-Dog and I were actually out on the Ohio River down around Cincinnati. We was netting some big shad, and these blue cats were smashing these small shad, and they were like floating vertical, just bam, just coming out of the water. And this guy was catching them on like a 3-inch swim bait, jigging. Just throwing him and catching blue cat after blue cat until he just couldn't catch no more. And we sat down there and watched him. He was like, what in the world is this guy doing? And when he finally pulled out, the fish had moved on and quit. We pulled in there and it wasn't like that. The bait was still there, but the fish had moved on. Ed Jenkins, what's up, buddy? Thanks for stopping in. One of the other things we like to do is presenting our bait in this time of year. I may or may not, I've got one here. I may or may not run a float. Okay. It just generally, if I run a float this time of year, I'm probably going to give away a secret here, but I cut my 3-inch cigar floats in half. Okay. Let me see real quick. Hang on. Hey, I got pants on. I got one over here. Hang on. Okay, so right here, look at this. Uncle Lou set up with a Abu 6500 down to a Diachi D85, and then boom, what do we have here? This is what I typically like to run in the wintertime. I'll run half a peg float. If you noticed, I run the flat side of the float towards the oncoming current. Now, this little bead here I added. This is Brandon Enix from Catfish and Dreams. This is a dream rattle torpedo type, makes a lot of movement, man. It don't take much to get that thing to spin and make noise. But, generally without it, this float, as you can see, is hitting the water smack dead on. Now, why would I want it to do that? All right. I do that because it makes it do crazy stuff in the water, makes it swim back and forth, makes my bait very active and not just either sitting still or flipping in circles. So this is a typical wintertime setup for me. Okay. Stan 3 said, whatever works. 3 stripers. Where are you fishing using dollar bills? So, I'll downsize the bait. And I'll change my rigs out a little bit. Now, sometimes I'll run, like I said, I'll run a float, but if I do, it's generally that right there. It's a half a float. I didn't know Roger was an Abu Garcia angler, but I am too poor to be picky. I've got a few Abus. I got some pins. I've got pins. I've got Mad Cats. I've got Ancient Mariner. I've got a little bit of everything. I'm too poor to have all matching, fancy looking stuff. I get whatever I can get my hands on. I've had that one for a long time as one of the very few rod and reels that didn't get stolen out of my garage. I believe this one was in my basement at the time. So, most of you know, like over a year or so ago, about a year ago, somebody broke in the garage and stole almost every catfishing, fishing, tools, everything I had. They stole out of my garage. And but this is one that they didn't get. I got 2 Uncle Lou rods left out of about 8. So, Roger, have you ever tried rattlesnake floats? They are a 3-part inline float rattle with bead stops. I have not. Rattlesnake floats. Jody, I haven't even seen one. If you get a chance, send me a link to one. I'll check it out. Sounds like, hey, what's up? Itching to get on the wall. Oh, Jackie's keeping things moving over there as well. So anyway, if I do run a float, it's generally that right there, set up a small one. Another thing I like to do, and Zach is the same way, a fish's detection zone and strike zone, I believe, goes down a lot in the wintertime. They get comfortable and they want to, what is going on here? Just a second. Hang on. Oh boy. Got something going on in this other deal right here. I don't know what happened. My other phone popped up and I had to move a puzzle piece to continue the live to go over there. So I don't know what's going on over there. It said it was going to shut off. I'm too poor to be picky. Then names multiple expensive examples. I'm too, with what? I got it fixed. Something happened. I don't know what happened. Well, I got a couple nice reels here and there, but I can't afford to replace them and move like all. I think if I had to go all one reel, and I don't know, I honestly don't know what I would go with. I really like my Penn Squalls. I got to tell you, man, and I don't have any affiliation with anybody. I don't, nobody tells me what I can and can't use. PC Fun, man, for the money, $50 reel. The PC Fun Chaos 60s, I think they're outstanding budget reels. I've yet to bust one up. Zach's been using them for like 2.5 years, and that dude fishes hard, fishes a lot. And I think out of all the reels he's got one that he jacked up, and he was bumping with it, and with Doc Lang actually, and caught a 60-pounder at Wheeler Dam bumping, and it took off squealing, and it stopped for a second. He tried to engage the handle, but as he did, it took off again, and it actually still works, but it makes some god-awful noise. But it did jack up some stuff in there as he tried to engage the reel going in. But so yeah, I've actually got about 5 PC Fun Chaos 60s. So I think that Abu I saw you is the only Abu I have now. I used to have lots. I used to have several rockets. I even had a Abu Beast that I won on Facebook one time, and turned out to be just a fantastic bumping reel, man. I bumped with it. You couldn't hurt it. And I had the getting off track. One of the things I like to do when we're sitting still is their detection zone seems to go down. So I've cast it out, and it's something I call nudging. And I don't know how else to call it, but, I'll leave that bait sit out there 5-10 minutes, and if it ain't got hit, I'll give it a couple turns on my reel, all right? So depending on what reel you have, on average, and this is important to know if you're suspend drifting, but on average, most of my reels pull in about 20 to 24 inches of line per turn, all right? So I'll give it 3 or 4 cranks and move that bait. And now what could have been outside this fish's detection zone, you just moved your bait up into his strike zone, and now he's willing to go after it. Before, your bait might have been a little too far out for him, and he's just like, I ain't going after it. And we call it nudging, and you'd be surprised how many more fish I catch after I've nudged my baits a little bit. You could just bring them all in, recast them all back out, but if you're happy with where it's at in general, just reel it in, bring it in 10, 12 feet and let it sit there again for a few more minutes. You could definitely get away with frozen bait in the winter. I wouldn't do it any other time. Yeah, it depends on how well you take care of your bait. I don't recommend freezing a bunch of tiny threadfin or small gizzard shad, 2-3 inch shad. If you can get a hold of some 8, 10, 12 inch gizzard shad and freeze those, I would feel comfortable using those. But anything other than that, I would want to use fresh. So I love my Akuma reels. I have a couple. I got two Akuma. No, I got one Akuma convector. Jackie's got another Akuma convector line counter reel that we use for bumping, and we really like those. Last year I won a Whisker Seeker Tackle 60 Pro, really a decent round bait caster. That's good. That's good to know. I mean, I don't use that, but it's good to know. Anybody can go on here and sell stuff and make it sound like it's worth $1 million, right? But it's you guys out in the community that actually use the gear that can give testimony to how it actually performs. I only have 2 rods out of 30 that don't have PC Fun reels on them. Holy crap. I have Chaos 50 and the rest have 60. And the 2 that aren't PC Fun were because they were given to me special and never been used. Well, there you go. If it's good enough for Freddie, I mean, if FOA Customs and Gear believes in the PC Fun reels, why shouldn't you? That's all I'm going to say. No, they are good reels. I do like them. For the price point, in my opinion, they're really hard to beat. And take that for what it's worth, but that's just my opinion. Let's see. See. Yeah, so whether I use floats or not, if I catch a couple fish and they're completely covered in mud, they got silt on their backs, the belly is completely muddy, I'm probably going to go less floats. All right, try to get my bait down on the bottom closer to these fish. They have a tendency to feed up more than they have a tendency to feed down. They will go down and pick stuff off the bottom, but in my experience, it feels like if it's right above their face, close, you can keep it. I will run a lot shorter leaders. You guys have seen me. I'll run 4, 5, 6 foot leaders through the rest of the year, especially dragging. I'll run 6, 7 foot long leaders, dragging baits. But when it comes to wintertime, I shorten them leaders up. We're talking about 20, 24. Hey, there you go. What about leader length? Yeah, I'm using, honestly, 20. I always say 18, but after I check myself, I never tie 18. I'm typically around the 20 to 24 inch mark. And that's just personal experience. Now here on the Ohio, once things start melting off, even right now, I think our dam's running. I haven't checked a couple of days. We run 50-some thousand CFS at the dam. So we got pretty good current. So no matter what size my leader is, that current's going to hold it down pretty close to the bottom. So there's no sense in me having 3, 4, 5 foot of line out there to get tangled up and get messed with. I'm just going to, there you go, Freddie, share the well. Hey, Ed and chat, giving the machines a 5-minute break from being worked so hard. Yeah, looking forward to seeing Freddie and everybody at the Catfish Conference. Don't forget, it's coming up real fast. Use winter to get all your medical needs taken care of and knee replacement on February 7th. Good to go by late spring. Man, Bug Man, that happened quick. I think you just went to the doctor, today or yesterday? So that's good to get it done. I had a buddy who had it done. He was up moving in no time, man. I mean, like no time. I had him fishing in 2 or 3 weeks, honestly. And it was warmer. It wasn't freezing cold. I don't know if it'd be worth it in this cold, but I got him out of there. 3 printers, 4 heat. The shop should be warm then, Freddie. I don't know how you guys are doing over there. I've seen the snow working up the Carolinas. I don't know if you've got snow yet or not. I know that the folks we stopped and seen in South Carolina on our way down to Florida got snow today. So I'm going to imagine you probably did too. My leader length really doesn't change with the seasons, 18 and 24 year round for anchoring. Yes, but see, Jeremy's got a lot of current. It wouldn't do him any good. Like I said earlier, it wouldn't do him any good to run a 5-foot leader. It's going to get pushed down to the bottom anyway. When I'm dragging and low current or no current situations, I can get my bait to rise up 2 or 3 feet, 2 or 3, 4 feet up the bottom if that's what I want. Roger, my next tournament, all anglers start backing down and launching. Park truck, then start fishing, you gang. Roger, my next tournament, all anglers start backing down and launch, park the truck, then start fishing. Depends on when it is, buddy. Depends on when it is. Is that you're going out with no bait? That'd be good. You gotta be live, catch the bait live, catch the fish live. Now we ain't doing 5-hour tournaments then either. We're doing like 8-hour tournaments. I don't like these 5-hour tournaments, man. I like to have plan A, B, C, and D lined up. And when you only got 5 hours and plan A and B don't work, man, you ain't got time for C, D, and E. You got to figure something out quick. My leaders are the same all the time. Fingertip to armpit. Fin is stretched out around 30 inches. Well, that might be why you're not catching fish if you keep putting your leaders in your armpit. I'm just saying. You might want to switch the rigs around. We use 3-way rigs to elevate bait in fast current. There you go. Yeah, so I'm going to say that they're putting their weight on the very bottom of that rig and then running the line up and then tying a loop, and then putting their bait off of that. And that's how they're getting that bait up off the bottom. Running it down behind a sinker is not going to get them up. 68 in the house, not 8. Yeah, there you go. We got some snow. It's 8 in most of the house. It's 8 in most of the house, but in my press room, it's a balming 78 right now. You say it's 8 degrees in the house? That is not good. I'm hoping I misread that because you guys going to have some major plumbing problems. You got some major plumbing problems. So I mentioned I like to use my sonar. Well, we were over 9 o'clock. Thank you guys for hanging out. I'm going to keep going. I got a few more things here on my list. And then, if anybody has anything they want to add or say, obviously you can jump in anytime. We'll include you. But when I'm using my sonar to locate the shad, when you see shad, typically, if you see a large ball and they're tightly packed in, it looks like one giant mass. Okay, and you want to look at the outside edges. If on the outside edges it looks fuzzy, it just looks like a cloud with a ring around it. Basically, those are small shad. All right, and if that's what you're after, that's fantastic. Me, I'm generally after the 6, 8, 10-inch shad, especially this time of year. Not the small shad won't work because I got videos out there where we had to use 3-inch shad and caught more fish than ever. Yeah, so it can work. But when you see shad on your screen and you start to see individual blobs and the outside of that ring or that mass of fish that you've seen, you can start making out individual little blots all the way around it and scattered around close by. Those are generally going to be your large shad. Now, if you start seeing large marks, all of them look like they're large marks. You might want to be careful because they can turn into a game fish or even gar. depending on where you are. If like needle nose gar or long nose gar are common in your area, they will get you. So be careful. But typically, those will show up on your side scan as streaks. They look like streaks all over the place. They're real long. Depending on what your scroll speed is set at, you could usually tell pretty quick if you're dealing with gar or not. If you're in an area with a single digit temps, you may want to turn on the sink. Yeah, buddy. The water company here has even messaged us today and said, hey, you all need to be dripping your faucets because it's cold. Matter of fact, after they sent that, they said the main water line busted up the road from us and they were going to be shutting the water off for the day. I said, great. You just told me to have my water faucets dripping so they don't freeze. And then you shut the water off. So, but I don't know what they did. I never noticed the water off today. I've had the water dripping here all day. I've noticed that with the colder water, I do better with shorter leader, around 8 to 12 inches long than dragging, especially when pulling 0.3 to 0.4. Wow, I've never ran a leader that short. Under 12 inches even, I've never ran a leader that short. That is definitely keeping it close to the bottom. My only concern is hanging up a lot because like I said, I like to get mine up out of there. We drag some of the nastiest you guys have seen. Some of you have. Some of the stuff we drag through is just unreal. And 90% of the time, 95% of the time, we either never get hung up, or if we do, we usually get it back. There's a little trick. You just give the line a bunch of slack and let that weight that we use has flotation and it'll stand up for you. And then you pop it, and a lot of times it'll come right out. But yeah, running a 12-inch leader, I would snag, I'm sure. But if it's working, don't change it. Backing down the trailer skill, bait catching skill, catfishing skill. That would be a fun term. Yeah, exactly, buddy. That's a good one. That's a good one. And, I'm sure everybody would have their homework, done. I'm sitting there thinking right now, I know exactly where I go. I know what ramp I'd be using. I know where to get the bait. I know every step of the way before we even got started and how close I can be to the fish. But yeah, that sounds like Catfish Olympics. There you go, man. Let's do it. Oh yeah, man. Kelly Bullock, thanks for reminding me. I forgot about running over. I did notice the views dropped off quite a bit. So I appreciate you guys still being here. But yeah, we got the Boar's Nest on with the Hog Leg and Troy right after this. Thanks, Kelly, for dropping the link. Guys, I never mind you guys dropping links and helping each other grow, sharing each other out. That's how I got to where I am. People helped me get here. I didn't do it all myself. And I don't mind whatsoever, ever, for anybody to drop a link and share somebody out and help them grow as well. That's what we're here for. I think I pretty much talked about most of it. For me, catching bait in the rivers, I'm going to be looking at creek mouths and marinas if I can get into them this time of year. If you're near warm water discharge, that's obviously going to be another fantastic place to look. But more than anything, keep yourself safe out there. There's a lot going on in the country right now with all the ice and snow and everything. So check on your neighbors, elderly folks, your grandma, grandpa, great uncles. Check on folks and make sure that they're doing okay. You never know when somebody's going to have a catastrophic failure with their heat and or something like that. Or water froze up. Just you got somebody you care about. Check on them, make sure they're doing okay, make sure they don't need anything. All right, Kelly says he's done our intro. Ooh, we might have a cool intro going into next week. Did you go over ramp safety in icy weather, what to do if you start sliding down the ramp, and how to try to prevent the skid? Now, we did talk about all that as far as salting, giving your trailer time to run off all the water before you go, keeping a shovel in your truck. And we did talk about that. What to do if you start sliding down the ramp. I don't know. I actually don't know the answer to that other than no, because once you start sliding, depending on the grade or the pitch of the ramp I'm thinking about all of our ramps in there. I can't wait to watch the Kelly premiere. There you go. once you start going into a slide down the ramp, I mean, letting off the brake, I don't think you pick up speed, and then once you apply the brake, it's you can sometimes do that and get them wheels to slow down, but you don't have a lot of distance to play around. So depending on where you're at in the country and what the size of your ramp, you know, it could be dangerous. I'll wait here, Jody, for you if you want to. If you're typing it in chat there for us, but you can try pumping the brake a little bit. But to prevent the skid, yeah, I would say keep salt in the back of your vehicle, or even a bag of sand to throw down to give you some. Do you steer a certain way? It will stop sliding once the back wheels hit the water. Don't panic. Do you steer a certain way? It all depends. It all depends on what kind of rim you have. In my experience, I don't want the front of my vehicle to swing around. You're right. Once you get to the water, your back wheels will stop sliding. Now the momentum of your front wheels might push you in just a little bit, but you should get enough traction. Ride out. There you go. It's clear views in the house. Ride it out. Yeah, that's what I was saying. You got to try to stay calm and ride it out until your tires touch the water. Ledges and flats, little to no snags, pulling slower with a longer leader. The bait sits a lot higher in the column. Using the 12-inch leader keeps it about the same distance as pulling a 24-inch, pulling at about 0.6 to 0.7. Well, Freddie's put in some math on this, but he's right. You know, the faster you go, the farther down, just like the current we talked about earlier, the faster you go, the lower it's going to push your bait down in the water column. The same as the current, the faster it's going, the harder it's going to push your bait down towards the bottom. So Freddie's done some math here and got his situation figured out. Can I tell you exactly where my bait's at? Not exactly. Skip's my hero. He's my hero too, man. Skip put in a long day the other day, man. All this come into play. He had a very, very hard time finding bait. Once he finally caught bait, he put in the time, and I believe he only caught one fish. I think that was on Friday. And then, like I said, Zach went out on Saturday. He also had a very hard time catching bait. And by the time he got bait and got in the water, Zach I don't think he even got a bite. So not looking real good here on the Ohio River right now. But generally going into late January and February, for us, typically it starts to pick up. Now, with us going into the Live Fishing Tournament League finale or championship on February 8th, that's likely not to happen for us. We probably get caught one and one got off. Yeah, that's a long day to go brave the cold and throw the cast net 100 times, man, for one fish. But you never know until you go. You know what I mean? I was at home wishing I could go. Jackie had a very important doctor's meeting on Friday that I did not want to miss. And then they also had a 2-hour delay at school. So I stayed home and took little man to school. So I did not get to get out. And but Skip and Zach and I are in a group chat, and whenever we're out on the water, we're updating each other with the conditions. We're updating each other with our catches and pictures. You know, we go no matter what. That's why we got the nickname River Warriors. Your river froze over. Well, that's going to make things difficult, Jeff, to back it in and go catch bait. I'm kidding. I know you're probably meaning a later date for this tournament, but well, guys, listen, I've covered just about everything I was going to cover. We left some meat on the table, but that's all right. We'll circle back around sometime and pick it up. Be sure to click that link there and go over and say hello to Hogleg and Troy over at the Boar's Nest. They're over there hanging out. You just never know what you're going to see over there. So be sure to go check them out. Appreciate everybody taking the time to hang out with us tonight. Very interactive chat tonight. I appreciate when you guys are throwing in as much information. Hey, Michael King's in the house. Hey, buddy. I just happened to see. I ain't been able to pay much. I ain't that good at multitasking here. All right. So paying attention to the other phone's been tough. But I see your name. Thanks for stopping in, man. I appreciate you. And I appreciate every one of you staying late with me and hanging out. We'll see you here next Tuesday night. Same cat time, same cat channel. Good night, everybody. Peace.